Microphone check 1 2. Y'all make sure y'all hit that Discord server. You are now tuned into the NetworkBruh. We're gonna do a quick lab on Boson NetSim today. 2 o'clock. Got shot this week. It's the 25-year anniversary. Hope you guys had a good holiday weekend. I know I did. I went to the beach. I went and saw Paw Patrol in the movie theaters. Anybody that got some kids out there. What else we did? Went out to eat. Oh my God, this is the slowest fucking phone. That's crazy. Y'all can hear me? Hit me with a bruh if y'all can hear me, man. This phone is killing me, man. I gotta get a new phone. Anyway, what we got on the news, the agenda today? This phone. Oh my God, bruh. I really gotta upgrade my phone. I know I've been saying that for the past couple streams. This phone, man. I believe they be slowing these shits down on purpose. Anyway, today's lab is going to be OSPF version 3. I know we've been working on OSPF for the past couple weeks. Again, this is the IPv6 version of OSPF. This is going to be a quick, simple lab. As you can see, there's only 2 routers in this lab right here. We're going to set up address families for it. This is an optional feature. You don't have to necessarily do it this way. You can do it the way we was doing it on the last couple streams, which was just go into global config mode and then just put that interface in OSPF like we was doing it. How do we do it? We did it with this way. We just did router OSPFv3, put the process ID, and then we did this command right here. So remember, there was an old way, like what was his name? Kelvin put in the last. I want to say it was the last video. He showed us there's an old way to put OSPF version 3, and then there's a new way of typing putting OSPF version 3, turning it on basically. Anywho, let's close this shit. These are songs I want to download and stuff. Anyway, typically I stream Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What was I gonna do? But yeah, I've been pushing back these streams. I ain't gonna say I was dreading them lately, but they starting to feel like homework now. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm stuck in this vacation mode. So I'm gonna give it a couple of minutes for some people to get tuned in and stuff. We got Foster in the building. Appreciate you for tuning in. Got Geekmaster in the building. We got Young Jonathan in the building. Appreciate you for tuning in. We also got Peter Hunt in the building. Thanks all you guys for tuning in. Again, I'm just gonna give it a couple of minutes. If you guys got a copy of Boson NetSim, go ahead and launch this lab right here. It's the Encore lab, right? You go to the Encore section, or you can just type in OSPF, and then we're gonna be doing this lab right here, OSPF version 3 address family. It's a real quick lab, and then maybe we'll tackle this troubleshooting OSPF lab as well, and then we'll have some green check marks there. Some more OSPF today. And if you don't have a copy of it, then once I get to 5,000 subscribers, I know I've been saying that for the longest, I will be gifting away a copy of this application, so that way y'all can do it along with me and stuff like that. I'm almost near my goal. Where am I at? I guess I got about 400, another 400 subscribers, and then I'll gift away a copy of this, so y'all can do it along with me. Why ransomware hackers love a holiday weekend? Looking forward to Labor Day? Well, so are a ruthless gang of cyber criminals. Who did they attack this time? On Friday, heading into Memorial Day this year, it was the meat processing giant JBS. On Friday, before the 4th of July, it was IT management software company Cashapp, and by extension, over 1,000 of businesses of varying size. It remains to be seen whether Labor Day will see a high-profile ransomware meltdown as well. But one thing is clear: hackers love holidays. Really, ransomware hackers love regular weekends too, but a long one when everyone's off, carousing with family and friends, studiously avoiding anything remotely office related. That's the good stuff. And while the trend isn't new, joint warning issued this week by the FBI and the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency underscores how serious the threat has become. I've never really seen, I guess, more attacks happening over the weekends, or I mean, over the holidays. I guess I've never really seen that pattern there. But the appeal to attackers is pretty straightforward. Ransomware can take time to propagate throughout a network. As hackers work to escalate privileges for maximum control over the most systems, the longer it takes for anyone to notice, the more damage they can do. Generally speaking, the threat actors deploy their ransomware when there is less likelihood of people being around to start pulling plugs. Ah, that is smart. That's true. And I remember working for an unknown, I'm going to say unknown, unnamed uh, value. Well, they were more of a MSP, managed services provider. And now that I think about it, I think I remember we got hit during the weekend. It was a ransomware attack. A weekend, well, because I was working weekends for one, but I think it might have been during the holidays. Um, Generally speaking, the threat actors deploy the ransomware when when is less likelihood of people being around to start pulling plugs, said Brent Callow, threat analyst at the antivirus company Microsoft. The less chance of the attack being detected and interrupted. Even if it is caught relatively soon, many of the people in charge of dealing with it are potentially poolside or at the very least harder to get a hold of than they would be on a normal Tuesday afternoon. That is very true. That is very true. They're like, oh fuck, man, we just got hit, man. I'm in Miami right now. I don't feel like fucking with this shit. Then you got to call people out and stuff like that, and nobody want to deal with that over the weekend. But when you have an attack like that, I guess that is the best time to really hit the network, man. Intuitively, it makes sense that defenders may be less attentive during the holidays, in large part because of decrease in staff, said Katie Nichols, director of intelligence at security firm Red Canary. If a major incident occurs during a holiday, it may be more difficult for defenders to bring in necessary personnel to respond quickly. And they sound like they beating a dead horse over there. They're just saying the whole thing over and over and over and over and over again. So let's go ahead and get started with this lab. Again, we're doing Boson NetSim today. Said, damn, bro, we got Matt in the building. Appreciate you for tuning in, Matt. I'm just reading some articles on ransomware and why ransomware attackers love the holidays, and it makes sense. You have the network engineers, security staff, and analysts and stuff like that are most likely on a getaway and on a holiday weekend. They not working, so it's the best time to really hit those networks. From a hacker's point of view. Anywho, or an attacker's point of view. This is a simple lab, right? We only got router 1 on the left, router 2 on the right. Sound like a damn referee. Learn how to configure OSPF version 3 address family configuration. Now, again, address family is an optional, an optional configuration. Do I have the book? I was reading about address families here. This is the Encore book, right? So what they were saying about address family, right? Remember we said how to turn it on, right? First, to turn on OSPF version 3, right? First, we got to do the IPv6 unicast routing. We have to basically turn on IPv6 with that command right there. It's probably turned on in Boson NetSim already for us, right? Afterward, the process is changed. It's configured with the command router OSPFv3 and then the process ID, right? Remember, we said this is the new way of doing it. The old way was you type in IPv6 and then I believe it's OSPFv3 or just OSPF and then the process ID and then the area, right? And then after that, you define the router ID, which we know how to do. And you type in router ID and then the router ID. It's a 32-bit value. That's step 2. Step 3, optional, what I was talking about right here. Initialize the address family. Now, I don't know if anybody want to kind of break down exactly what the fucking address family is. But I guess you could do it for IPv6 and IPv4, right? The address family is now, again, this is optional, right? But we're working with the whole lab doing this. So the address family is initialized within the routing process with the command address family, IPv6, IPv4, unicast. Now, I don't think we got to do this in this lab, but the appropriate address family is enabled automatically when OSPF v3 is enabled on an interface. So again, this is an optional feature. But we got a whole ass lab. 4 address families. So, and then you can do it, turn on OSPF on an interface. And that's what I love about OSPF version 3. We ain't got to worry about network statements. You know, you just go on the interface and turn on OSPF version 3 and then put it in whatever area you want it to be in. So, for example, this lab right here, or this topology right here, we got router 3 that sits between area 0 and area 34. Again, this is from the CCNP Encore book, right? So if you have a copy of this, you probably already read this already, right? So you put that interface in area 0 and then this interface in area 34, right? With this command right over here, bloop, right? OSPFv3, process ID, and then IPv6, and then the area, and then the area ID, right? Which we're going to do in this lab. So, and here's those commands over and over again, right? We got some addressing with an addressing guide right here. This is the IPv4 addresses. This is the IPv6 addresses. Here's the tasks. This task involves configuring OSPF version 3. Basic OSPF show commands, OSPF version 3 show commands. Step 1, create a OSPFv3 routing process with ID of 1. So we'll go to router 1 and turn on OSPF. We go to user exec mode and then privilege exec mode. Well, we're in privilege exec mode. And then we go to global config mode, configure terminal. And then they said process ID of 1. So we just do, like we said in the book, router OSPFv3 and then the process ID, which he said in this case 1, right? So, and we've done this a million times, I know. Router OSPFv3 and then a process ID of 1. That puts us in router config mode. They also said configure the router ID to be 1.1.1.1.1, which we've done a million times as well. Router ID 1.1.1.1. And then he says, step 3, here says, issue the appropriate show command to observe and verify the running configuration. How do we view the running configuration, right? Just show run, right? But y'all know I don't like to do show run, but we're going to do it anyway, right? So running configuration, that shows us the running configuration, space bar, and we'll see, we turn it on. Process ID 1, we got the router ID there. Another way to verify our work is what? Show IPv6 OSPF, right? Yes. And then does that tell us the router ID? Yes, it does. So that tells us the router ID right there. It tells us process ID of 1. We got some basic configs or timer information. LSAs being sent. How many times the SPF algorithm has been sent? Calculated? No, I don't think that's in this. I forgot what command that's in. I don't remember. But anyway, they just wanted us to do show run, and that's in that one right there. From interface configuration mode, enable OSPF version 3 for the IPv4 address family, area 0, on interfaces FA00 and loopback 0. So we got FA00, which is probably that one, and then loopback, which sits virtually on this router right here, right? So let's go to global config mode, and we go to interface FA00, and he said what? He said enable OSPF version 3 for the IPv4 address family area 0. Okay, so I believe it's just OSPFv3. No, IPv6 OSPFv3? I can't even remember. And then, no, that's not how you do it. I can't even remember. This is the old way of doing it, though. When you type in IPv6 and then OSPF, and then the process ID, and then the area. That's the old way of doing it. As a matter of fact, I think in the book it even says right here. There's a caveat right there. Earlier versions of iOS use the commands IPv6 router OSPFv3 for initialization of the OSPF process. So remember, this is the old way of doing it. I know they said legacy somewhere down there. Yeah, considered legacy, right? So this is the old way of doing it. And then when we go into the configuration mode, interface configuration mode, we type in IPv6, OSPF process ID, and then the area ID and interface. These commands are considered legacy and should be migrated to the ones used in this book. In other words, this is the old way of doing it. This is the old way of doing it, right? The way we got to do it is like configuration. We go to the process, and then we say right there, OSPF v3, and then the process ID, IPv6, and then the area, ID. So OSPF v3, which I thought I did that. We go to the interface and we type in OSPF v3, right? Yeah, there we go. And then the process ID, which is 1, and then the IPv, he said right here, he said IPv4 address family. So we got to type in IPv4 right there, right? So IPv4, 4, and then the area, which in this case, they said area 0. So area 0. So that's putting the address family for IPv4 for the fast Ethernet interface. Let's do the same thing for loopback 0. So let's get let's do interface loop 0. Do the same exact thing. So OSPFv3 1 IPv4 area 0. We already have a neighbor right there, and that neighbor should be router 2 right there, most likely because that's his router ID. Y'all got any questions so far or anything? Am I losing y'all? Whatever. Y'all let me know. Again, this is just a real simple OSPF version 3 lab. If you just tuned in, we're using Boson NetSim. We're doing the lab OSPF version 3 address family configuration, right? Real simple lab. Router 1, router 2, and we're just making them 2 neighbors using OSPF version 3, right? Which is the IPv6 flavor of OSPF. So step 5 says, issue the appropriate show command to verify that interfaces FA00 and loopback 0 are configured to run OSPF version 3 for the IPv4 address family. How do we do that? Let's show IPv6 OSPF, I think you could do, which we did that already. That's the router ID. This is the process ID. But they want us to see that the interfaces are configured to run for the IPv4 address family. Let's do show what? OSPF v3. And then what? Process ID 1? No. Let's see. Process ID 1 and then interface. We can see the neighbors that way. No, you can't. Interesting. Thought you would be able to see neighbors that way. Let's do this. And then interface. Now, I don't know if there's something wrong with Boson NetSim when I do this, because we did show OSPF version 3 and then the process ID and then the interface, right? Because they said they want us to see to verify that the interfaces FA00 and loopback 0 are configured to run OSPF version 3 for the IPv4 address family. I guess when I do it this way, this is just going to show us the IPv6 address family. So let's do this. Show IP OSPF neighbor. Yes. So that gives us the OSPF the IPv4 neighbor information. What else can we see? Show IP OSPF interface FA00 like that. And it says right there it's not enabled on FA00. How about, could we do show IP OSPF interface loopback 0? Same exact thing. Interesting. Bars. Doesn't anybody know another show command that's going to help us verify that the interfaces are configured to run the OSPF version 3 for IPv4 address family? I'll give y'all a couple minutes. That's y'all pop quiz because I don't know what the hell it is. Professor Black Ops in the building. Appreciate you for tuning in. Speaking of Professor Black Ops, we were just talking about ransomwares, how ransomwares love a holiday weekend, man. So looking forward to Labor Day, well, so are ruthless gangs of cyber criminals. Professor Black Ops, do you know why they love a holiday weekend? What I was, it didn't dawn on me until now, right? Because most of our, experienced or like advanced personnel, all of our security analysts, all of the Professor Black Ops, all of them are on a beach somewhere during the holiday weekend, right? So this is the best time for a network to get hacked or, expose vulnerabilities, right? Because it'll take longer for them to discover these attacks, right? Because again, people are away. It's hard to get a hold of people. People like, Professor Black Ops, he done went to Fiji and he's not worried about ransomware attack right now, right? So, and that's what the article was trying to point out. It's the best time to hit a network. You know what I mean? We got Dave W in the building. Appreciate you for tuning in. We're just working on OSPF version 3 address families. I'm trying to figure out a good show command that's going to let us know that an interface is participating in OSPF version 3, or at least verify the interface is configured to run OSPF version 3 for the IPv4 address family. Professor Backup said, facts. Old people got all the vacation time. Yeah, man. Y'all all the way, man. All the all the senior engineers are away for the holiday and stuff like that. Meanwhile, all us rookies are on call, and it's harder to get a hold of the more advanced personnel and let them know, like, hey, man, I think we just got attacked, man. We got all these files got encrypted, and they got the file extensions turned into ZZZ. Why is that? Can you tell me why? But yeah, that's what the article was trying to point out. Ransomware just love holidays. Since I don't know the answer, and that's what I love about Boson NetSim. Sound like a commercial here. If we don't know the answer, we can just scroll down to the bottom, and it gives us a clue on how we can, it basically gives us the answers. Kind of like looking at the back of the book, like we did in high school, right? So lab task number 5 says, the appropriate show command we were looking for was show OSPF version 3 interface brief. See, I was looking for a specific interface. I guess you can't do that. So show OSPFv3 interface brief. Let's do that real quick. See, I did that. Oh, I did show IP OSPF. So show OSPFv3 interface. How about FA00 like that? No, you can't do it that way. And then interface brief. That's what we was looking for. See there? Y'all see that? I had to leave out the IPv6 command or the IP command and then type in OSPFv3. And now we can see what interfaces are participating in OSPFv3. We got our fast Ethernet 00 interface, which is right there. And then the loopback interface, which sits virtually on this router right here, right? We got the process ID of 1. They are both participating in area 0. Address family is IPv4. We have the cost, which is 1, right? I mean, it's right next to the damn router. Like, don't get any closer than that, right? FA00, the state is the neighbor, right? Is that neighbor? Does that let us know that the neighbor is the backup designated router? I think that's what that is. Loop. I don't know what the fuck that is, but whatever. I know it's the loopback interface, but why is the state just loop? Who knows? Who cares? Numbers and F and C. Don't know what those are. I'll look those up later. Who knows? From interface configuration mode, enable. Now we do the same thing, but with IPv6. Now, I know you're probably wondering, I thought we just turned on, we did IPv6 with OSPFv3. No, we did OSPF version 3. So many goddamn acronyms. OSPF version 3 for the IPv4 address family. Now we got to enable OSPF version 3 for the IPv6 address family. Right? Y'all see that? So OSPF version 3 for the IPv4 address family. Now we're going to do OSPF version 3 for the IPv6 address family, right? The newer flavor, the more longer IP addresses, 128 bits. What else? Have yet to be adopted. Let's go to global config mode. We say interface FA00, and then now we do OSPFv3, and then what? The process ID, and then we say IPv6. I said it a million times and I still didn't say it. And then area 0. Right, so that puts FA00s in the to participate in the IPv6 address family. So should we have a neighbor come up with this? Because this let us know we have some IPv4 neighbors there. Let's do that real quick. Let's run that show command real quick and see and verify that before we put the loopback interface. There it is right there. See, now it shows like it's like we have a neighbor using OSPF version IPv6 right here. See how we have another adjacency there. So now let's do the same thing with loopback 0. So interface loop 0, and we say OSPF v3 1 IPv6 area 0, and then run that show command again. Show IP OSPF. No, that's not what it was. It was show OSPF v3 interface brief, and there it is right there. See, now we have our IPv4 address families, and we have our IPv6 address families down here. So it looked like it's 4 neighbors, but it's really just one neighbor, but they're participating in different address families, if that makes any sense, right? Right. So Now if we do, what do we do? Can we do look up our OSPF neighbors this way, right? Show IPv6 OSPF neighbor, and it just shows one neighbor there. See there? And that neighbor is off of FA00. What else they want to know? Issue the appropriate show command to verify that interfaces, and we did that with this command right here. Show OSPF version 3 interface brief. What else? Issue the appropriate show command to observe the OSPF version 3 database. We've done that a million times, right? Professor Backup said, Howard University just canceled class due to ransomware. Are you serious, man? That's crazy. Howard University, man. Oh my goodness, man. Y'all know, and I've been keeping up with these current events, man. Like, this is one of the news sources I've been using, during our little intermissions and stuff like that, or when I'm, transitioning into another lab, right? Or at the beginning of the stream when we wait for people to tune in, or if I'm setting up my rack here before we got started and stuff, right? 9 times out of 10, these headlines have been starting with just ransomware attacks. And this is the article we read today on how ransomware hackers love a holiday weekend. And this weekend, obviously, was a holiday weekend, Labor Day, and is the best time to attack because, like we said, the more like experienced personnel and the senior analysts and the senior engineers are away for the holiday, so it's harder to get a hold of these people and to even detect that these things are coming on, unless you have SNMP or your alert setup sent to your phone, which most of us do. But yeah, it's just crazy. I didn't hear about the Howard University attack, man. That's just crazy, man. Boy, if y'all really want to get into cybersecurity, that is a really growing field, man. Really demanding field, man. Check out my boy Professor Black Ops. He does a lot of stuff on current events on these ransomware attacks, and has a lot of information on how to get into the field like that. So y'all subscribe to my boy over there, man. I'm telling y'all, man, these ransomware attacks, man, that's just crazy, man. What's the next command? Oh yeah, one is to check the database. I believe you do show IP OSPFv3 database. Wrong. It is maybe IPv6. Show IPv6 OSPF database. There we go. That's what we was looking for. This gives us information on the LSAs, right? What's that? Link state advertisements. Basically, they kind of like little baseball cards that gives us information on the OSPF network, right? This is what's known as what? A type 1 LSA. The advertising router is 1.1.1.1.1. Who's that? That's me, right? That's also known as the router LSA. We have, what else we have about it? I have yet to, y'all know I've yet to memorize the LSAs, man. There's what, 11 LSAs, right? For the CCNP exam, we got to know at least, I don't know, 5 of them, 6 of them, something like that. Router 2 also has a type 1 LSA. He's advertising to us. So we share this network, this OSPF network here. So that's why we can see each other's type 1 LSA. Next one is known as a type 2 LSA. That's also known as what? The network link LSA or netlink LSA. Professor Black Ops said, I'm doing a quick video. Is it possible to overload a router with IP addresses? Like, is there a max to how many stacks you can link to one routing device? How many stacks? Overload with an IP address. Well, I know you can put more than one IPv6 address on one interface. If that's what you're talking about, I don't know. But you can, you can put so many. I've been on like ISP side routers, facing routers that have like millions of sub interfaces, man, and you have like a whole bunch of BGP neighbors and stuff like that. So, I'm sure it's possible to overload it, but it really depends on how beefy your router is. Like an ASR, a Cisco ASR router or ISR router, those like can take a lot of interfaces. Sub interfaces and stuff. So how many stacks you can link to one routing device? I don't know if it's possible to overload it. I don't know. I've never seen that before. You'd have to. I don't work on the ISP side, so I don't really know. I've never really seen it overloaded or anything like that. Like can't configure anymore. I've never seen an error like that. But maybe you can. Maybe you can't. I don't know. Good question though. If anybody knows, put it in the chat over there. What else they wanted to know about? So this is a type 8 LSA that's introduced with IPv6 OSPF or OSPF version 3. I forgot what that is. Somebody messaging me over there. What is this? Intra area. I want to say this is a type 9 LSA. I don't remember. Intra area prefix link. Let's see. Let's Google that real quick because I ain't gonna make pretend I know. OSPF. Let's see. OSPFv3 LSA types is intra area is. Yes, I was right. Intra area is a type 9 LSA. That is known as a type 9 LSA. But let's break down what that is. Let's not just know what that is. Intra area prefix. It is each intra area prefix LSA contains IPv6 prefix information on the router, stub area or transit area information, and has area flooding scope. It was introduced because router LSAs and network LSAs contain no address information. So this, I guess, supposedly gives us address information. I don't see anything more than that, though, other than the advertising router, which is this guy right here. What else they want to know? We did the database. We kind of looked at the database very briefly. Issued the appropriate show commands to observe the IP routing table. Y'all know how to do that, right? Show IP route. Show IP routes. That gives us the IPv4 routing table, which is the 10.12.0 network, which is that network right here that sits there. We have our locally configured interface 10.12.0.1, which is that right there, which is probably there. So if we do a show IP interface brief, we'll see that that's the interface, right? Show IPv interface brief, and there it is right there, 10.12.0.1. That address right there, right? It's locally configured. That's what the L means. It's locally configured on this router. Then we have the one network, which is the loopback, right there, and the two network, which we learned about through OSPF from this guy right here. So that's probably the that's pretty much the loopback on router 2. What else we want to know about? Oh, let's look at the IPv6 routing table, which is just show IPv6 route, right? So same thing, but we just do, right? We did show IP route right here to look at the IPv4 routing table, and then we just IPv6 to see the IPv6 routing table, right? And then we see the connected networks, the local network. This is locally configured on that interface right there, the FA00 interface. We're connected to that network, and then the loopback, which is, what is the loopback? Oh, that's pretty much the loopback address right there. And then this one we learned through OSPF from router 2. Let's look at the interfaces in IPv6 though. Show IP interface brief. And the locally configured one was, remember, this is the link local address. This is the one that's locally configured, right? We like manually typed it in and you can figure that address was 2001 12.1, right? 2001 12.1 is right there. Oops, that's what I hate about Boson. Right there, that interface. What does they want to know? Verify connectivity by issuing a ping to router 2's loopback interface. We know, like, they're directly connected. But let's see if we could ping the, oh yeah, they wanted to ping the loopback. That's how we know. Let's just do a ping. No, we don't just do ping for IPv6. We got to actually type in IPv6 and then the IP address, which in this case, I forgot. The loopback is 2.2.2, so we ain't got to do all of that. So just 2.2.2.2. Notice I'm doing some ebonics right here. Pin that address, and we got a reply. We didn't even have to pray to the network guys there. I typically stream Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all check me out. If I do cancel my stream or whatever, just make sure you join the Discord server, man. Like, sometimes I'll cancel my stream like I did yesterday because my daughter would not go to sleep. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you, man? You got school tomorrow. Here is the link to the Discord server. This is the invite right there. We're going to knock this one out. I wanted to do one more lab or read one more article, see what else we got on the IT news there. What he said? He said, learning my network. At the moment, we have 4 48-port Cisco Catalyst switches mapped to our core switch. All right. I'm using info blocks to view the network. core switch is at 98%, while core switch 2 is at 20 to 30%. Hope this helps explain. So you talking about the are you talking about when you say is at 98%, are you talking about the CPU? Is that 98%? Because I've seen that issue before where it's just an access layer switch and the CPU was running high. Now I could have just easily rebooted it and then brought it back to life and it's like, okay, it's back to 20, 30%. But that's not going to fix the underlying problem, right? If you do a debug or whatever on the router and see what kind of messages it's giving you. Is it giving you any kind of CPU hog messages? Is it giving you some kind of error? Do a show logging and see if you're seeing anything that's out of the ordinary. Do it that way. And then what I ended up doing when I had a high CPU utilization, it ended up being some kind of bug with the iOS with an access layer switch. I believe it was 3850 catalyst switch. What I ended up doing was just upgrading the iOS, rebooted the router, upgraded the iOS, and that resolved the problem. So I would do that. See if you could do show logging or show CPU well, you probably know what the CPU if it's at 98%. And then do a debug. You can do a debug, but do specific debugs now because a debug can crash your router depending on how broad you use the debugging. So I hope that helps. I don't know if that's what you meant when you meant by overload. What else? What else we got? We do not. Swiss courts compelled it to log and browser fingerprint. I don't know what's going on with that one. Don't know if I even like that one, but whatever. Interesting. Just trying to see what else we got going on here. Misbehaving Microsoft Teams ad brings down the entire Windows 11 desktop. Not a good start for Windows 11 coming out like that. They've already got some issues with it. That's because they're trying to push advertisements. Look at my phone was crashed. I can't even hit the bruh sound without the freaking ads popping up on my damn app, man. Microsoft released a new build of Windows 11 and they just came out with it, didn't they? Or supposed to come out on October 5th to Windows insiders late last week as it prepares for the operating system's release on October 5. I don't know if y'all know that, Windows 11 is coming out on October 5th. But the first testers to install the new build quickly ran into problems. The taskbar, desktop, settings app, and other core OS components were refusing to load. Just like my fucking bruh app right here. There's just like ads just being pushed through the damn app. It's like, leave me alone, man. Let me use my bruh button without you trying to sell me shit. Microsoft quickly published a registry edit that resolved the problem, but the company didn't go into more detail on what went wrong. Of course they didn't. They were trying to push more ads through their fucking application. The most thorough examination of the problem comes from developer Daniel blah, 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 blah. I don't know his name. It's too hard to pronounce. As he explains, the Iris service mentioned in Microsoft's registry edit is part of the Windows Spotlight service, which is responsible for fetching new lock screen wallpapers and other suggestions and advertisements. That's y'all problem. Y'all trying to push advertisements through my freaking operating system. That's going to cause more vulnerabilities and all this other shit, man. Y'all keep playing, man. That's why the cybersecurity field is growing right now. Y'all just putting holes in these operating systems. Whatever, man. I see you didn't put any more, but I hope that answered your question there, Dave. My screen is over here freezing up over here on y'all. Y'all hit with that like button. Make sure y'all subscribe. I typically stream again Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're just gonna do this. We're just gonna knock this one out real quick. I just wanted to do this quick address family lab. There was another troubleshooting lab. I just didn't feel like doing it. It didn't have frame relay, but it's set up at a frame relay network, and I just kind of like lose motivation when I see that, or when I see those kind of topologies. Anyway, for now, comment. I hope that helped with your question over there. I see you not. Well, my stream is kind of not loading here, but it is what it is. Comment, like, subscribe to the network.